Hey Keith, so let's talk about Shemitah.
The Bible has a term, and it's called Shemitah in Hebrew, and the Christians refer to that as the Land Sabbath. That's the command that God gave to the Israelites in the Promised Land. He said, I am your provider. I am the one who blesses the land. I control the crops. I control the weather. And you need to give me blessing and acknowledgement for that process. And so as part of the covenant that was made at the time of Joshua, it was actually before Moses died, and they get instructions there in the book of Deuteronomy. It talks about taking a year off. In Genesis, the pattern is set. It's 6 days of work and then a day of rest. And it wasn't because God was tired. It was because he wanted to set that pattern for mankind. And so he did that same thing with the land. He says, the land is cursed, but we are going to rest it. And so they were commanded to work the land, till the land, grow the crops, grow the vineyards, the orchards, all that stuff. But on the 7th year, they were to let it rest. And it was part of that pattern. And God said, if you will live according to my ways, I will bless the land. I will bless the crops. I will bless your animals, anything that you have, whatever resources that you have been given. And you will have enough to make it through that year when you are not supposed to harvest your crops. He told them that they were not to glean the corners of their property if they had wheat or barley, or and even in the case of the figs and the olives, they were not supposed to plant. And that just started again. The nation of Israel, the religious leaders, declared the upcoming year to be a Shemitah year, or a Land Sabbath year. And so in Israel, people who were following after Judaism and are following the Orthodox ways of Israel will not be growing wheat, barley. They will not be going into their orchards. They won't be harvesting olives or dates or pomegranates or any of the things that grow over there. They will be letting it stay and having a year off. And God says it's very important. In fact, we see in the book of Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, all those prophets, they were reminding the people they were going into punishment, they were going into exile because they were ignoring Shemitah. They were not letting the land rest. And so God says you're going into bondage for 70 years because 70 times in a row the children of Israel skipped that Sabbath. And the Bible says there's going to be 1 year in bondage for each year that you skip. So it's important. It's important to God. And as New Testament believers, our job is to remember that God is our provider. He provides our job. He provides the money, the paycheck, wherever we get resources. It is God that is giving that to us, not man, and not by our own works. We're not responsible for providing for ourselves. We are supposed to give God praise and glory because he is our provider. And Shemitah is our reminder, at least in the Promised Land, in the agricultural sense of who is providing for people who live there.